Greetings to fellow traders. Uh, this is Raju here. The topics we are going to talk today is taking full advantage of precise trading zones. Okay, previously, those of you who have come for this session. Okay, we mainly apply price level principle. Okay, what do we mean? What do I mean by that? Meaning, you trade on the price levels. That means, you expect the price to turn at certain levels, and you take your trading decisions accordingly. That means at a specific price level rather than at the market price or the market orders. And also do take note that okay, the risk disclosure to discuss, this is going to be purely educational, and no matter what happens, I think I would strongly recommend you to stick to your rules and also your limits, especially when you're trading live market, right? And the crosses mainly we cover. These are the crosses we cover almost like about 36 to 37 crosses. You can use any one of these crosses, right? You can ask, meaning in the sense, if you have any doubts or you want to discuss on any one of these crosses, we'll be very glad to assist you. And also please mention your time frame which you want to discuss on the specific time frame. So when we look at a chart, at least when you specify the time, it is much more easier for us to discuss on that specific time frame. Because most traders, I think you should understand the fact that most traders, they go in the wrong side or the wrong direction of the market because they get mixed up with the time. That means moving average, trend channels, and Gann numbers. So these are the tools we use to derive the numbers which I'm going to share with you later on when we use the report or the zone. So when you use it, so this tools, as you know that most of the technical analysts, they use these tools to get or to do their projections. So as a result, you can use these tools to do your analysis, and it's quite reliable, right? And the trading tips which I've already discussed before, and in fact today the trading tip is never trade on assumption and trade only on confirmation. See, you must understand the fact when you come into this business, for example, like Forex, when you trade, you need to do your homework before you take your trading decision. What do I mean by do your homework? That means, you must have a game plan or you must have a strategy. That means this is where I'm going to enter, and this is where I'm going to put my stop loss. Or if you don't practice putting stop losses, then at least you must have a mental stop, meaning in the sense, once the price goes against me beyond this level, then that's where I cut loss, right? Turn at that level. But you have to wait for the market to give you a confirmation, meaning that, okay, the market is starting to turn or beginning to turn. Then things can be much more easier to interpret, and it's much more easier to understand. So, and you have to wait for confirmation, meaning in the sense, probably you have to wait for a short-term valley or peak to be formed. If you're looking to long or buy, then you have to look for a short-term valley. And if you're looking for a shorting or selling opportunity, then you have confirmation of a short-term peak. So that's what I meant by confirmation, rather than you assume that the price is going to turn. And when you take the trade, sometimes you may be your entry may be too early or too late. So when you have this specific game plan, things can be much more easier and very easy to identify. Tips we can do. Okay, let's say let me begin, then later on I'll give you the trading tips. The strongest cross now at this is being the yen crosses or the dollar yen. Okay, let me show you the screen. Okay, in fact this here the yen crosses. Okay, in fact the yen crosses, if you see, all are red around, meaning in the crosses as being the strongest cross, and the weakest is being, okay, or cable, because if you see all the pound crosses against the cable is also being very weak. So as a result, and you can also choose pound Aussie, right? Pound Aussie, which is also being moving about 53 pips, right? So these are the three crosses which we will be looking at. Maybe I can discuss with you as we go on. So what I will do, let's and I'll give you a trading tip accordingly based on that. Okay, let's say this pound US and pound yen. Okay, let's start off with the pound yen. Okay, let me pull the chart. Okay, if you see the pound yen, this is a 2-hour chart. Okay, it has been moving down, right, and it is frame. Okay, the price is starting to turn, beginning to turn, right? Let me show you this. Okay, it is beginning to turn. So we can look to there's two ways which we can look at this trade. One is if you are long now because this is already like formed a bottom, so now it's going to go up. So chances are, like you should know that this is you're trading against the trend because, as I told you, the pound and the yen, the pound being the weakest and the yen being the strongest. So when you trade against the trend, you have to be very careful on this. So now you should know that our immediate barrier would be 135.70, okay, which is about this level, right? Okay. Yeah. So this is, in fact, this is the report. This is how our report structure would be. So as I told you, the trades or viable trades which we are looking at is pound yen and pound US. So let's see the pound US. Okay, what is to be expected or how is to be expected so that you can take your trading decisions even when the market starts to move. Okay, let me quickly run through this example. Okay, this is today's report. So you see this pound looking to sell or selling opportunity. The safest bet would be on this scenario. The nearer to this level, the better it is because that's the least risk with the most reward. So I'll be looking to sell higher, right? So I'll show you as we go on. And as long as the dip concern, it's sideways while 155.35 holds. So what it's telling you is when you say sideways, that means like the market is not giving any clear direction. That means one day is moving up, one day is moving down. So it is not giving. So whenever you see the sideways, it is best for you to trade at the breakout because the price is going to be choppy, right? So especially if you follow the daily trend. And as far as the weekly is concerned, it's sideways down at while 158.90 holds. So overall, all the 3 time frames are telling you, it's a downside move or downward pressure is going to happen. So if you are looking to buy, so you should know very well that you have to be very cautious and very careful because you are trading against all the 3 trends or all the 3 time frames. So if you buy, then you have to know that straight away, like you have to book your profit, especially if you make about 35 to 50 pips move because anything would be a bonus. So after you have read the time frame, if you notice all are giving you a red color, it's a selling mode. So what you have to do is look for any important data announcement. Okay, the important data announcement is mentioned here. Of course, to get a full details to our website, you have an economic calendar or even in FX Street, you get the economic. I suggest, you get it printed out, especially if you are a scalper trader. Try not expecting the price to reach to this levels, right? So you look at the next, it says 150.95 and 151.25 are the critical levels to watch to maintain the bearish outlook. So in other words, to support our statement of our bearish view, that means we are saying that the price is expected to come down. The price should not trade or break or close against these 2 levels. That means as long as the price doesn't break and close above this level, especially on the hourly chart, the trend is still expected to go down or expected to come down. So that's where we say that, in order for you to maintain this bearish outlook, the price should not trade above this level or close above this level. That's what it meant by that. And the next sentence is, on the 5-minute, it's along the gradual down channel and the price patterns are suggesting lower lows are expected, provided again 150.70. That's another level which is a closer level to pay attention to, and 15125 holds. That means overall is as long as the price doesn't uh, uh, break this levels, the price is still expected to make lower lows and go lower. And you must have these two levels in mind, meaning in 149.40 and 148.70. The opening price principle suggests that GBP is weak against at least 5 crosses, so it may be a bad day today. So overall, what again we are saying is the pound is weak against about five other crosses. So as a result, the pound is expected to weaken. So when we mention this, you must understand also that this uh, 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 assumption or this projection can be valid at least for the next couple of hours. So it doesn't mean that it must last for the whole day, or at least for the next 6 hours at least. This statement should be valid or should be supportive. The next is the bulls. These are the levels you can use it either for entry or booking your profit as well. That means like 149.85, 149.15, and 148.70. These are the levels. If I sold, then I can also plan to book my profit in any one of these levels. Uh, or if I feel I want to go for a quick buy or just trade, then I can also enter at these levels for me to have a quick profit target. And as far as the bears are concerned, 15055, 15125, and 15190. These are the levels whereby you can also use it to entry or book your profit. And as far as today's strategies is concerned, two types of traders which we focus. One is the conservative traders and aggressive traders. So the conservative traders is of course we feel that the signals are very good, very reliable. Then we will generate the signal here. Otherwise, most of the time you see it's sideline or strictly trade at precise traders report levels. So I will explain to you what do mean by the levels as well as the zones which we are focusing. And for aggressive traders, you can short near 15055 or 15095 with a tight stop with a 50 pips price target. So here what we are saying is you can, if you see the price getting 15055, if you sell, then of course your risk can be pretty wide, because we have given two levels. So if the price moves to the next level, then if you are being stingy on this stop loss, then chances are you may be stopped out. But otherwise, of course, if you see that the price reaching this level and turns down, then you can sell at this level and you can go for a 50 pips price target, right? So this is what is to be expected on this pound. That means overall, I am looking for a sell. So I should know where to sell, where to take my trade, entries, stop loss, and exit, so on and so forth. Okay, after you have read this, then you go to the levels. This is where we would be looking to take our trading decisions of entry, exit, and stop loss. So we have about a set of 12 numbers, resistance 12 numbers, and we have a set of about 12 numbers support. So we use these levels mainly for entry, exit, and stop loss, right? So now I'm going to teach you how you can use it to take your trading decisions based on these levels, and how you can have a comfortable trading strategy for you to take your trading decision. You start off the day by looking at where is the last price or current price. So in fact, the pound is trading at 15018, right? So which is trading below the support zone 1, right? So if the price is trading below the support zone 1, okay, you should know that the sellers have already gained control, because once it moves below the support zone 1, the price is expected to make lower lows and move lower. But again, to do that, okay, you have to see that you have to fulfill or check that one of the other condition is met. That means if I'm going to sell with the trend, that means once it breaks the support zone 1, I have to check to ensure that what is the high for the day. That means I have to see that whether the current high has fulfilled my criteria or my condition. Okay, what is the condition I look forward to? The condition I look forward to is the high should be less than or equals to our resistance zone 1, our worst scenario is resistance zone 2. That means if I see the price, that means for the day high, if I see the high for the day, if it's above that 15125, that means my assumption or my expectation with the market is wrong or is against my analysis. But if the high for the day, registered high for the day, is within this, that means within the 151 figure, and if it's lower, that means the lower the merrier, because the lower it is, you should know that the weaker is the market. So as a result, you expect the price to make lower lows and go lower and lower. So if it's the lower, it is the better. So in fact, today's high is 15070. So which falls within this no man's zone. We call it when the price is within this no man's zone. That means with the resistance zone 1 and support zone 1, then we call it a no man's zone, right? So so when the high is registered within this, so our condition is fulfilled. So as a result, I would be looking for a selling opportunity. So the levels whereby I look to sell, that is the next question I ask. So in fact, right now it's trading at 1501415. So I would be looking to sell near the 151 figure, because you should know that the registered high is 15070, and our resistance zone 1, which is going to be a major barrier for the price to break, is 151. So I can use this level. That means the closer I enter near this level, the better it is or the merrier it is. So where do I look to enter? Okay, let's see. We have a resistance target 1, which is 15070. So in other words, I have 15030. Okay, which is going to be my immediate selling price. The next level I would look to sell is 15070, right? Of course, if it doesn't reach that level, then if the market turns, then I can go for a sell. But if you recall earlier on, I showed you that levels. If you recall earlier on, I showed you the bulls and bears level, right? So here we have a bears level, which is 15055. So that can be a selling opportunity as well. So overall is what I will be looking to sell is I will be selling to sell at near 15030 or 15055. Worst scenario is 15070. So these are the three levels I would like to sell and tell myself, okay, this is where I'm going to sell. And I can use safely use a stop loss of about 35 pips. Sometimes, if you are a risk taker, especially like as I told you, the price should not go above this. So if you put a stop above our resistance zone 1, you're going to sell. Where do I book my profit? The next question I ask myself. Okay, when I ask that, see, we have a support target 1, which is 15005, and we have a support target 2, which is 14945. We have a support target 3, which is 14875. And one more level we pay attention to is our support zone 5, which we call it a U-turn zone. So overall we have 4 levels. So in other words, I'll be booking my at 15030. Assuming, let's say I sold at 15030. I have my immediate target, which is 15005, which is about 25 pips. You feel that, you want to. I'm selling at one feel that if you have a very strong, it's a strong downtrend. As a result, the risk versus reward, you should know that, the price should move to the lower levels. And if you recall earlier on, we have mentioned somewhere here, you see the has been, okay, has been creeping lower, and expect the bears to test 149.40 or even 148.70 soon. So that would give you an answer. That means if I'm going to sell somewhere here, so that means my risk versus reward may be giving up to how you take your trade based on our report. And as I told you, the 4 levels you pay 945, turn zone which is 155. So as a result, price target is whether is worth considering the trade is up to you to decide whether you want to take a trade, because that gives you would be under control. And one more thing I would also want to take note or tell you is always if you have missed that first selling opportunity, okay, when you wait for re-entry or you must take note that your previous support or resistance would now become a that means your previous to become a resistance and vice versa. So that means like as I told you, the price breaks 15030. Now your immediate resistance would be or selling option would be 15030, right? So that the previous support would now become as a resistance. That's one thing you need to take note. And also another thing also need to take note of the report is when you do put your stop losses, please have a variance of plus minus 5 pips. That means if I'm going to sell, that means if I'm going to put my stop loss, rather than putting my stop at 15100 figure, that means 151 figure, I put a stop loss of 15105, which is 5 pips higher because I do not want to be stopped out. And the same thing goes, if I want to book my profit, that means I don't want to miss my price entry. That means I don't want to miss my price target. Then I would use plus 5 pips because I don't want to miss. That means I use instead of putting precisely at 149.45, I would put at 149.50 so that I don't want to miss that exit price target. So these are the things you need to know about our zones and how you interpret and take your trading decisions accordingly. Feel free to ask any questions you want to ask or discuss on any markets which you are interested. We can discuss with you. We will be very glad to do so for you. And now let me go back to the chart and give you a trading tip on this particular instrument. Right? While I do that, I hope you can ask questions so that I can answer your questions or queries. Okay, let me go to this chart. Okay, here if you notice this has been, and also one more thing I want to tell you about the report is whenever the price level tests the price first time, it would be valuable most of the time. That means the price would respect that levels because first time, but second time when it's coming back to that level, that's where you need to pay attention to, because if the second time if it holds, then you should know that that's a very strong resistance or support. But once the second time if it breaks, then the market should continue in that direction. So that's the thing you need to also take note of that of the report. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, I just quickly highlight to you and show you and see what has happened or how does it look. So 151 this is where it is, and we have a support zone 1 at 15030, right? And we have a next level which is 15005. So if you notice here, in fact, the price that 15030, which it tested, in fact, yesterday, that means towards the closing, the price tested at 15030, which is our support zone 1, and it went and second time it tested. This is this is the condition which I said. The second time when it breaks, you have to see whether this level holds. I mean, of course, if it has hold and turned up, then it would be a buying opportunity. But since it has given way, now things would make a different scenario. That means it is going to continue in that direction. So you have to be a seller on this scenario. All right. So this is the thing. Okay, now let me give you a trading tip based on this. Okay, what we would do is, okay, pound USD. This is where you're not we are looking at. So of course we are looking to a limit sell because we are looking to sell on a specific price level. So I leave it to you because it all depends what kind of risk taker. But I think you can see about 150 55 level, right? So what I see is you should come to around at least this level for you to take a trade. And if you put your stop loss, I want to put about 50 pips. As I told you, the price should not trade above 15105. And also do take note that most of the time the high and low for the day would happen at our support zone 1 or resistance zone 1. Worst scenario is support zone 1, support zone 2 or resistance zone 2. So you can use that level as a benchmark for you to put your stop loss if you feel that you do not want to be stopped out unnecessarily, right? So and my exit level again, I would want to do, of course, I would want to enter exit at 50.05 to, because if you are a conservative trader, which I'm giving you is a risk versus 1:1. But if you are aggressive risk taker, then you can wait to see once if it breaks that 150.05, because I'll show you the chart later on. Once it breaks that 150.05, because it has tested, I think, more than once. So if it breaks, then I think you should go lower, right? So another trading tip which I can give is the pound yen. Okay, this is trading at 135.35. Let me show you the chart, then I'll come back to the screen, right? Okay, this is the pound yen. What has happened is, that my support zone 1 for the pound yen is 135.70, right? Which again is a similar picture, which is tested the previous day. So now it has gone before. So now the bounce back should act as a resistance. Worst scenario is, let me see what is the level I'm looking at. 136.30. Right? Worst scenario is 136.30. So these are the two levels I would be looking to short or sell. So you should understand the fact that, see, the low it registered once. So second time when it comes, as I told you, if you sell here, so the price would only make a lower lows provided this low is breached. So that means when the price is approaching down, you have to be a bit cautious until it clears this low. Otherwise, once it clears this low, then you can expect the price to make lower lows to happen. So the levels I would be looking to sell again on this is about 135.70, and in fact the day high is only 136.10, which is lower than our resistance zone 1, which is 136.40, right? So I think 135.70 might be a selling opportunity, but again, it all depends whether you want to take that risk. Again, I would want to do a limit sell 135.70, right? And I want to put a 50 pips stop loss. And again, see what is the low it is. Okay, then I'll exit at 50 pips, which is 135. Let me see what is the next support I have. Yeah, about 15-20 level, right? So I can plan to exit at this two at this level. So these are the two trades I feel is viable to be considered, because the pound being the weakest, and you should know that this trade can be valid for the next few hours, because as I told you, right now at this moment, pound is being the weakest, yen is being the strongest. So that should support our statement and analysis. Okay, the question is, so Raju, how can you show the numbers from the pound yen and the euro yen? Okay, unfortunately, the numbers for the pound yen and the euro yen is because the report is not ready yet. Our report would be ready about 5 to 5:30 GMT. But if you want, I can give you the numbers. Okay, this for the pound yen, my resistance zone 1 is 136.40, and my support zone 1 is 135.70 for the pound yen. And for the euro yen, we have 123.40 as our resistance zone 1, and support zone 1 is 122.80, right? So these are the two levels for these two levels, because the report is not ready yet. So that's the thing. Okay, do you get your levels from the chart or another source? Okay, as I told you, the question is, do you get the levels from the chart or another source? Like as I told you, okay, I'm quite well versed in Fibonacci numbers, trend channels, moving averages, pitchfork, Gann numbers, so on and so forth, right? And I've been in this business for more than 15 years, and certain things which, I mean, even like, for example, I can show you the chart. Okay, maybe I'll show you the chart again. See, if you are quite well versed in technical analysis, right? Especially if you draw a channel, things can be much giving you a clear picture, especially, if you are able to identify the correct channel. So that means, like, if I draw this channel, okay, if you notice, right now the immediate barrier would be somewhere here. The price should struggle at 135, 40, 45 level, right? If it really clears, then, if you see, and of course the downside is 134.05. This is where we would be looking to also, the best to struggle around this level. So there's a lot of stuffs which we use. Of course, you must understand that technical analysis is 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 not like an easy tool there, whereby, one simple tool you use to get the set of numbers, right? So different people will use different approach, but end of the day, if you have a probability, meaning the risk versus reward, then I think you should be doing fine, right? So things will only go wrong when you get yourself mixed with the things which you are doing. That means 1 minute you use one tool, another minute you use another tool to get your figures. Then, that's where most people go wrong. So in fact, what I do, because see, the thing is, because I use so many tools, right? But different tools would give me a different analysis, and by the time you go and start to take your trade, chances are you may get mixed up or confused, which tool to follow. So that's where, I rely on our report, because that's where, because in simple, my entry point, my exit point would be at the resistance zone 1 and at the support zone 1. That means I can be a seller at the resistance zone 1 as well as the support zone 1. That means if I know that the price is moving, making lower lows. And again, I can be a buyer at the support zone 1 as well as at when it breaks resistance zone 1. So I use these two levels for my entry level. So and on that note, I have a fixed game plan. That means it's like, this is where I'm going to enter, this is where I'm going to exit. So as a result, I do not get myself confused with too many tools, right? Okay, any other questions? One last question before we call it off. Anyone wants to ask about any, you want to discuss on any specific tools which we may be interested? Okay, so if no questions, okay, I would like to thank you for coming to this session, and I also do take this opportunity to thank FX Street for organizing this event. And if you feel, we also have an in-house webinar on every Wednesday and Thursday. That means Wednesday we have in the evening, about 12 GMT. Thursday is around the same time. So if you want to come, if you ask, then I would be very glad to answer your questions, right? So, and also our website is precisetrader.com. If you feel anything you need, you can also write to us. Okay, then the next question is, do you trade the move up before you short entry? Trade the move up before your... Okay, I do not understand myself, but anyway, if you want to write to us, you can write to us. We'll be answering your questions. Right? So once again, thank you for coming, and also, I would like to thank you, FX Street. Okay, thank you and goodbye.